I'm on. Hey. Hi, everybody. It's Sunday again. Oh, these people. Leslie Plazz, Zazoo Plazz. I'm in the woods, and I don't know what's going on with these people. It's almost going to get dark. There's these people in a minivan in the parking lot. They keep backing up and going forward and backing up, and they just don't leave. Reminds me of the time I was practicing for my driver's exam around this time of year, and my mother took me to the community college parking lot near our house, and I was pulling into spaces and backing up, pulling in and backing up and going around. Police officer came by and asked us if everything was okay. He just shined the light in the car. Guess they thought we were, maybe doing something illegal. Once they noticed that I was indeed going for my driver's license, I showed them my permit. They let us go. But that was the last time my mother took me to practice for my driver's test. From then on, it was always Dad. So here it is, November 28th, 2020. I wish these people would just leave. It's very distracting. See this car in the parking lot just keep going around and around. I guess that's how I'm feeling today. Kids just took off back for college. I had a whole weekend surrounded by relatives and people. My 18-year-old son rediscovered the Polaroid camera that my dad was cleaning out his house, and he gave us the Polaroid and these old cameras. And so the other night my son's friends were over, and he's like, "Mom, take our picture with the Polaroid." So he had to tell me how to use the Polaroid. Because I was exactly his age. I was a freshman in college. I just realized I've got these pictures that my parents took. They got that Polaroid camera in the early 80s. I think it was around then, because there's this picture of me and my freshman year roommate. She also was. She was my sophomore year roommate, but we met in our freshman year in the dorm. Look at me, smiling. We're holding. Looks like a little doll. And I know what that was. It was a nurse doll, because my friend, her roommate was in the nursing school. She had a little nurse doll. And then here's me. This is around this same time of year, around November, late November, early December. Me and one of my high school friends. He was a year ahead of me. He went into the Navy, but we're sitting in that orange chair. The orange chair in the corner, and see, with the creepy picture of the creepy colonial guy whose eyes used to follow me around, that guy, and like the green lamp, and we had the old beige drapes. See, everything was like orange. It's like, oh, would you leave already? Okay, so I'm a little annoyed today, because these people just won't leave. Yeah, so that's kind of where I am right now. Like, really? Are we back we're back and forth, right? I just feel like, well, my husband's home putting up the Christmas lights. I've noticed that the pond is freezing over. We had a few snowflakes today, just as the boys were leaving. I am, my husband was up there, got up in the attic getting the Christmas decorations. And he said, "You have a big crate up there full of record albums, which I can't play because we don't have a record player." And my dad says, oh, he says, I'm going to go get a record player with Bluetooth, microphone, headphones, so he can, play his old records and listen to them with wireless earbuds. So it's kind of like we're at that point. It's like I feel like, and then my youngest son, he comes home, he says, I really don't like college. He's like, I don't like his roommate makes coffee and he doesn't clean the coffee pot, so they got mold in the coffee pot. The only thing he likes about college is like sort of his fire science class and his girlfriend. And so he might even come home next week and go look for the Christmas tree with us. But he's like, no, I want to go for environmental science. I don't want to do fire science. I want to get an associate's in fire science. I want to get a bachelor's in environmental. I want to work in environmental science. Meanwhile, at the same Thanksgiving table is my dad, who thinks that climate change is a hoax. Like, Dad, I worked in an environmental or state agency in environmental science, in communications, for 3 years, telling people about how all the seas are rising and the animals are getting all messed up. And, he says, it's a hoax, he said. So, this is just weather. It just changes every so often. The earth changes. People get, they come and go, but religion is always there. The church is always there. People will come back. It's just the way of the world. And then I notice I'm sitting at the Thanksgiving table, and for the first time I noticed the way people sit at the table. I got my husband and my dad sitting across at the ends of the table, and I'm across from my mother-in-law, and we got my husband in between us. Well, how did I never notice that before? I'm losing my voice. How did I ever notice how many pictures there are in which I'm in between? Yep, it's my husband and his mother and me. Okay? How did I not notice that before? She and I had, she accused me of ranting. She said, are you done? She said to me after I went, I made a statement which was in response to her statement. Thanksgiving dinner was awesome. I made 3/4 of it. Spent most of my Wednesday night guiding my 21-year-old son in making an apple pie, while simultaneously making a pumpkin pie and a turnip puff that nobody ate except me. And I made stuffing the night before, my mime stuffing, which was very good, and it did have chunks of potato, and I could never seem to get the little chunks of potato chopped up as well as my mother did. But she wasn't around, so I had to make everything. And then my husband makes the turkey, and he makes the mashed potatoes, but they kind of come out like potato walls, like you could spackle with them, You could put bricks. Fortunately, I have very perceptive sons who say these things for me, so I don't have to state the obvious. And there's never enough gravy. But anyway, I digress. The pumpkin pie came out very good. What else did I make? Green bean casserole, which was also very tasty. So, the food was fine. The only thing I find satisfying these days is cooking and doing my Zazoo stuff. It's and purging. I spent one night when was it, Friday night? Yeah. Just looking at old papers and marveling at the life I used to have, look how happy I was. I was just giddy with the joy of of discovery and newness and the sense of possibility in my life. That's what I miss. I don't think I've ever been so bored in my entire life as in this past year. My husband said, well, that's what you do, things get boring and you leave. I said, yes, because I have a very low threshold for boredom. I have to constantly be moving. This shit is getting old. I mean, this is the second week in a row I've been at this tree. It's just good they finally left. I just feel like I'm gonna, anyway. It's time. It's Sagittarius season. I'm getting near the galactic center. I'm gonna have to, take off and go into outer space. Because my Venus is conjunct the galactic center. Supposedly that means that I have a link. I have a link to other galaxies. So if you keep listening to me, you never know what you're going to hear, especially during the months of November, late November and early December. That's when I get the most dissatisfied with the world as I see it. The world around me, which it only gets good when everything dies that you can see around you. People, that's why people feel the need to put up lights and all this jingle jangle and distract themselves with all the holly jolly baloney. That I bought a couple pairs of jeans. I tried them on and they felt like sacks of burlap on me. They just, everything feels heavy and dull and just long. So I've got this one pair of jeans feeling like I've been wearing like 2 pairs of summer pants, to stay warm. Because I can't seem to, I buy myself things and they are monumentally unsatisfying. And I end up bringing them back. And my mother-in-law does not understand why I don't enjoy shopping. So anyway, back to the ranting. At the Thanksgiving dinner, she's across from me. She's got her perfume and her flower with her bobby pins with the flowers. She pins flowers into her hair. Like a 6-year-old. And not even a 6-year-old. I don't know who does that. Anyway, so she brought her appetizer, and it had toothpicks like this long with really pointy, sharp ends sticking up all different directions. She says, "Try my salmon dip." She had put like the salmon on crackers, like this salmon stuff, and and my son says to me, "Mom," he says, the toothpicks are getting longer, more dangerous looking." I said, "Yes, they are." How observant! I love that my boys are very observant. I'm balancing my tripod here. I'm trying to get my point across before the timer goes off and I plunge into the lake here. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, Polaroids. So at this point, I'm just like, let's see what develops. The kids are looking at, the Polaroid film that it comes out of I'm still going to get back to that rant. But the Polaroid spits out of the camera and the kids are like, "What does it look like?" And my son is like, "I don't know. You have to wait, see what develops. You have to wait." And they're all like, "What's it doing? What's it doing?" "I think something went wrong. It's not doing anything." I'm like, "Guys, It takes like 5 minutes. Like 5 minutes. These of the digital generation, right? They're used to instantaneous. Oh, they're back. Great. So my mother-in-law, we're sitting at the table anyway, and we're talking. She's always worried. She's worried about the boys, which I never do. I never worry about them. They're adults. She said, well, I hope that they do what's right. She said, I hope they know what's right from wrong. And she looks at me as if to say, because they have you for a mother, that they don't know what's right from wrong. And I took a deep breath. My husband quietly tiptoed out of the room, which was probably smart. I took a deep breath. That's when my older son went and started playing Pokemon. Some Pokemon thing. He accused me of throwing out his DS, or selling it for Zazoo Plazz money, which I didn't do. I said to her, well, I said, thinking about all the hours of CCD, teaching, and the hours that, my husband and I spent trying to, instill some kind of morals, I suppose, into the kids, and combined with all of my astrological and my other wisdom knowledge over the years, I said, you know what? They have a set of values within them, and though they have to develop their own roadmap and their own path, we can't take our values and impose them on other people. It just doesn't work that way. I said, what's right for you is not what's right for me. How can I say that's right and this is wrong? Who makes you God? Of course, she loved that. And she kind of, it's like, she, like a little kid, rolled her eyes, and she shook me off, and she said, are you done? No, not even a little. I'm just getting started, lady. So let's see what develops. Polaroid. The kids, by the way, it was totally worth it. That picture came out great, and the kids were all, they had put, various condiments all over the kitchen. Like mustard and A1 sauce and this and that. And they had the dog, and they created this, artistic, kind of like an Andy Warhol painting, with the Campbell soup. It was pretty cool. Oh my God, is this? What's that song? Oh my God. I want to have is a photograph. I want to take you. Oh, anyway. Oh my God, it's a photograph. I'm going to look that song up. Anyway. Oh my God, it's this photograph. So, anyway, I was looking at the pictures of the kids, and I'm like, isn't it funny how the couples, the girls and the boys, they had the friends, they kind of look alike. Their faces are compatible. And I started thinking, now, is that because we're drawn to people who look like us? Or do we shape shift to look like the people that we're with? And if I'm all alone, who am I? Who do I look like? I mean, I've reached a point where I can pretty much do without anything in particular, or anyone in particular, except myself, really, and my guides. So isn't that the ultimate right? Is being completely true to yourself and seeing what develops? I think so. I think so. Because then the universe is going to give you more of the same, which is truth, which is your truth, not somebody else's truth. You know, somebody who likes to eat food from toothpicks. That's not my truth. I don't like toothpicks. Anyway, these people are still driving around the parking lot. Now it's getting dark. All I know is I'm reduced to ranting to trees because apparently it's my best audience. You guys have been great. So it's time to leave and go, I don't know, have a cup of tea and finish watching this movie. It's like Brooke Shields gets like fed up with her life and she goes to stay in this castle in Scotland. And I'm thinking, that sounds really cool. Maybe I'll go to Scotland. My cousin who lives in Seattle, she does Scottish dancing. I think she even got married in a Scottish castle. I thought she married some Scottish guy. Well, she went over there because he was from there. I don't know. I've always been fascinated with Scottish things, Scottish people. Bloody Brigadoon! You know that the guy in the 4 Weddings and the funeral? Anyway, I love that movie. Yeah, so I was thinking this is the end of a 9-year for me. 9 numerologically, it means, endings. So there's nothing more satisfying in a 9-year than throwing stuff out. Because the 1 year is coming up, and that means all new stuff. Starting anew. So it'll all be worth it. And just get through the next month or so. All right, well, I'm going to go in now. Cut it a little bit short this week. But hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving leftovers. And I will talk to you next week. Zazoo Plazz signing out. Bye-bye.